Hello and welcome back. We are already in week 3 for this course, this fast paced, no holds barred uh, writing course. And again, remember that we will come up for air after the first 5 weeks or so. The last 2 or 3 weeks slow down at least a little bit, okay? So I know that we just pushed out our first paper, our summary response paper last week. We're going to move on to our second paper. Next week we'll have our third, and then that's when we come up for air for a bit, okay? So hang on, and I think you'll feel very rewarded by having completed this once it's done. But we're talking a lot about that with our kiddos right now. We have a freshman in high school who's trying to adjust to the pace and the expectations of high school classes. And I think that that's constantly the journey of a student, is to kind of wrap our brains around how we can make this all fit together. I know you can do it. Please let me know if you're having any struggle of any sort, and I'll do what I can to get back with you very promptly on those questions. Okay, so what are we doing this week? We're going to change gears in the type of reading we're doing. And some of these readings are readings that I used to teach in my high school class. So some of you have probably had them either with your high school experiences, or maybe, well, probably mostly high school types of readings. The 20 through 26 is just a resource material, and if you feel very comfortable with the concept of a literary essay, you may not even need this Hirschberg piece, but it's a kind of an example essay and some explanations of it. I may not have an example. I think the Aaron text has the example. Here we go. Here is the readings for this time around, and you're only going to be choosing one of them for your actual paper. Ambrose Bierce, Charles Bukowski, Walt Whitman, Robert Frost, Emily Dickinson, Kurt Vonnegut, and Cheever. Why am I free? Charles Cheever, I believe. Name should sound familiar, right? For those of you who have Indiana roots, Vonnegut is a Indianapolis icon. Dickinson, Frost, you recognize these names. We're going to read a combination of poems and stories. In the discussion board, you'll be asked to respond to several of those items. I believe it's 3, and to 2 peers. For this discussion board assignment, make sure that you can copy and paste your discussion board activity right into the subject box in the Dropbox. The reason I'm having you copy and paste instead of going and pulling it all from discussion board is that our discussion board doesn't talk to the gradebook very well. And so this is sort of just a rudimentary procedure that we do for all discussion board assignments. I may have made mention of that last time. Sometimes students get confused on what exactly to give to me for this assignment. I want everything that you specifically wrote. So your initial posts as well as your comments to others. If you want to include others' comments to you, that's fine, but that's completely unnecessary because I can't hold you accountable for other people not responding to you. On that note, as early in the week as possible to complete the discussion board so that it gives people time to reply, and try to mix it up. If one student's getting all of the replies, go to somebody else and reply to their work if you could. Okay, the second thing that you're going to be turning in, and this is just to the Dropbox, is the writing to analyze assignment. And I'm going to show you that in a second because it does tend to confuse some people. It's actually an assignment that I wrote from concepts in a book by another author, and I cite him on the worksheet, and so students look for his reading. There's nothing by Scholes that you're going to read. You're going to I'm citing him for my worksheet that I created. The worksheet is meant to help power up your paper and to help you get some structure for your paper. If you want to do the worksheet along with the readings, that might save you time in the end, and then use some of your ideas from the worksheet in your discussion board. That's a-okay. You can double dip this week on that. And then the peer edit goes to both discussion board and to assignment Dropbox. This is where you're going to post at least part of your paper. I'm going to be very honest, even if you just post your first paragraph and ask a meaningful question about how somebody could help you improve your first paragraph, there's a lot that goes on in a first paragraph that would be editable. Again, if you could get this turned in before the end of the week, so that people have time to peer edit, that's super, and you're peer editing to other students with meaningful feedback. And then the final draft along with that worksheet that is that feedback and reflection worksheet. You can put the reflection worksheet into the subject box, or you can put it on the end of your paper and attach it as a Word document. Either way is fine. So the only things that I really want as attachments are the final drafts. The rest can be copied and pasted into the classroom. Let's go ahead and look at the worksheet that I'm speaking of so that we're clear on that. And I also, while I'm doing that, want to point out too that we have some resources here in resources. The cheat sheet for MLA, our citation resource for MLA is here, as well as some different templates for making arguments. Both of those might be resources you would want to use for this time. So anyway, moving on, let's go ahead and look at course content. Put it into your view. This announcement is just an overview, kind of like what I just did. It's another way of looking at the assignments. And I may have just found an error because I don't like how this is labeled. It looks like it's labeled the same way. If so, I'll have to load the worksheet later for you. Oh, nope, here it is. Pretty sure. Yep. Okay, you're only going to turn in the green portion. This is the literary analysis walkthrough right here. And it's stepped out for you. And this is just kind of give you kind of the theory behind it. And then this is the interpreting literary texts. If you've ever done anything with literary lenses, this is sort of like that. And this is where I said it gets confusing to some students. I cite him. This is my citation. He uses, this is his phrase, so I'm trying to practice what I preach in terms of citing my resources. So these are, when we say repetitions and oppositions, we're looking for, it's explained out as we go through here, but within the text, ways that the author creates a repeated theme or repeated phrase, or contrasting, like when they use like a really nice, beautiful day against a really morbid scene, something like that as an opposition, or two characters that are in confliction. Similarities and differences. You can also compare it to outside of pieces. If maybe this story reminds you of something else you've read, or something you've watched, or a sitcom even. A lot of times literary themes are definitely borrowed from in contemporary literature. So like when we watch an episode of Simpsons, it might be a play on Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, or it may be a play on, I actually know that they have a Raven episode on The Simpsons, which is Edgar Allan Poe. So you might see some similarities and you can bring those in, and that's okay. Repetitions, oppositions, similarities, and differences. Why did the author use these things? What do you think motivated the author? Or what effect was he trying to create, or she trying to create? Symbols. Every one of these items has symbols. Don't tell me there's no symbols. I promise you that everything I've assigned has a symbol in it at some level. Overall message or theme. And then if these still don't give you enough to go on, the Aaron text, pages 441 to 443, has additional analysis questions. These are a step-by-step. Some students have found this to be helpful. This is sort of an idea for an outline. And so I wanted you to look at that and make sure that you are good with that. And again, here's just the prompt repeated and how to organize it, and then we're going to publish it out. And then what criteria? This is just general criteria. We're still using the regular rubric for this paper. This is the feedback form that I'd like back to me. It can be in the subject box or as part of your paper. If you can give me my part of this as well, then I can give you more feedback. Okay, that's all we have. I'm going to try my very best to get the last week's paper back to you as early as I can this week, or at least by Wednesday, so that before you turn in this paper, you have some feedback. And if you have any questions, give a shout. Have a good one, and I'm talking fast because it's a really fast-paced class, right? Talk to you later.